Do you remember when we discussed the take method in the previous video, and how it helps in fetching specific portions of data? Well, today, we're exploring its sibling, the skip method. Instead of grabbing data, it's all about bypassing it. If you're looking for a way to effortlessly omit a certain number of items from the beginning of a collection, this method is your solution. So, let's not wait any longer and dive right in. The skip method in LINQ allows you to bypass a specified number of elements in a sequence, and then yields the remaining elements. Think of it as a way to jumpstart your data processing, leaving behind the initial elements you don't need. The method has only one overload, which is a breath of fresh air. This overload accepts an integer parameter, indicating the number of elements to skip from the sequence's start. For clarity, let's look at an example. Imagine we have a string array. Now, what if we wish to omit the first 3 elements and retrieve the rest? To achieve this, we'd use the skip method as demonstrated here. Notice, I only mention the number of elements I want to skip. The result will be a sequence that excludes the first 3 elements from the array. That's how straightforward the skip method is. The output of this query is of type 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗽. To convert it to array again, we can use toArray method. One thing to note, if you attempt to skip more elements than what's available in the sequence, the result will simply be an empty sequence. For instance, trying to skip 10 elements from an array of just 7 will yield an empty set. But don't worry, even in this scenario, no exceptions will be thrown. So, here the first 7 elements will be skipped, because we only have 7 elements, and no item remains in the sequence, therefore the result is empty sequence. The only case, where an exception will be thrown, is when the sequence we want to query is already empty. For example, an empty array with skip method throws an argument null exception. Now, let's see the skip method in action with some practical examples. Consider a list of integers with the following values. Our aim is to bypass the first 3 numbers and then select the rest after filtering. Here's how the LINQ query for this looks. As you can see, I've used the skip method right after defining my data source. The sequence here will contain only the following numbers. After that I am filtering the sequence. The result here will be the following sequence. At the end I am selecting the numbers and then converting the output to list. So, the result is the following list. Let's modify our approach slightly. Instead of skipping elements right at the start, what if we applied a filter first and then skipped? In this scenario, we'll filter numbers greater than 5 from our list. The result here will be the following sequence. Select clause returns the same sequence without modifying the elements. At the end, I use skip method to skip the first 3 elements. So, the result here is quite different from our previous example, as you can see. This is the output of this query. Just as with the take method, the sequence of operations matters a lot. In our first example, we skipped and then filtered. In the second, we filtered and then skipped. The order of these operations can lead to varied results, so always be mindful of your sequence. Moving on, let's consider a scenario where we want to skip some files from a folder based on their last write time. For instance, if we wish to bypass the 5 oldest files and fetch the rest, we'd write our LINQ query like this. Notice how I've used the skip method after sorting the files. The outcome is an array of file info, representing all files except the 5 oldest ones. The same can be done to skip the newest 5 files from a folder. I only change the sort from ascending to descending. Lastly, think about a data table named 𝗫𝗫𝗽. If our goal is to omit the first 2 rows and grab the subsequent ones, here's how we do it. Once again, the skip method comes to our rescue, combined with the copy to data table method to convert our output sequence back into a data table. So, the output of this query is also a data table that contains all rows from my table except the first 2 rows. In the upcoming videos, we'll explore how to combine the skip method with other LINQ methods and clauses to achieve even more powerful data manipulations. Stay tuned and happy coding!